Alright, bitches, so we're on to episode 70 of Dragon Ball Super. This episode is called Champa's Challenge. This time we fight with baseball. And of course, like most of us were thinking, this definitely was one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball Super. I don't know where exactly to rank it, but it's probably definitely in my top 3 or top 5. This was really, really enjoyable. Dragon Ball Z characters and their crazy, feats of strength and the ability to fly, all this really does mesh well when you ground it with something like, real life sports. One of the secretly most interesting parts of Dragon Ball Z was when Gohan, for about that half episode, Gohan was playing baseball in the, when he was in high school. That was very enjoyable, just like this episode turned out to be. Now, I'm sure compared to a lot of other, people who do, Dragon Ball reviews, online or whatever, I probably have more knowledge of sports than a lot of other people do, just because I'm one of these weirdos who, really loves anime. I love, RPGs, but I also really love sports, football, basketball, baseball. I'm actually very, very knowledgeable in all the rules and everything, and one thing I do know is that the Japanese, they do love their baseball. As far as I understand, I believe baseball is pretty much the, national sport in Japan. And their anime is riddled with baseball references. I know, for example, Yu Yu Hakusho has a number of baseball references that I believe were toned down in the dub. I know originally in the battle with Byakuya, Kuwabara actually makes a reference to, hitting Byakuya, the energy ball he shoots out of his throat, to hitting that like one of the famous Japanese baseball players, which I believe they removed in the dub. So it's not surprising that baseball is the sport that they would bring to Dragon Ball Super. And I do have to say that, I was watching this, not only as a fan of Dragon Ball, but also as, a fan of sports. And I was looking, and they did a very good job of interpreting all the rules of baseball. Everything fit. There wasn't any mistakes or anything like that, which I guess would be assumed because, hey, retconning Vegito, Trunks pulling, ass pull power-ups out of nowhere, that's all fine, but we know that the Japanese would lose their fucking minds if they had the incorrect rules of baseball in one of these episodes. So, the episode picks up. The one thing that I was kind of surprised with is there's not really a lot of setup. It opens up on Beerus's planet, and we see that Beerus and Whis are already on a call through Whis' staff with Vados and Champa, and we see that they're already on their way to Universe 7 in the cube. And, a match is going to be, they're going to play baseball. So there's not a lot of setup for this. And you do see that Champa wants to do this match just so that he can eat some delicious food of, Earth in Universe 7. Now, there's no reference to the Universe 6 Earth or anything like that, so it's really hard to take anything lasting out of this episode, considering they tone, any possible plot or story intrigue. They tone all that down, and this is just a fun, episode, really. So the next scene starts up, and they're already in all of their baseball outfits. They're already at the field, they're all ready to play. And of course, the Universe 7 team is Piccolo, Kid Trunks, Gohan, Goku, Yamcha, and Krillin. Now, I guess because they have an uneven amount of players, Beerus is actually just serving as the coach for the team. Now, I will say, usually in baseball, the head coach is referred to as the manager of the team. Coach is not usually the word given to, the top dog. But obviously, they don't have, full, true coaching staffs here. So that's fine. Beerus is essentially the manager of the team. Now, they do mention that Yamcha is the captain. And this is something I fucking loved. So Krillin turns to Yamcha and goes, so you didn't bring Tien and Chaozu. And Yamcha goes, I left them behind. I don't think they could keep up with this kind of fight. Now, this, I believe, is a reference to back in the Android and the Cell saga when Tien was talking about leaving Chaozu behind and why Chaozu wasn't present during those battles. So I thought that was hilarious. And this is something that this boy Yamcha has been holding in his bag of tricks. He's been waiting years to say this shit. Yamcha, you can't fucking fool us. And then the Universe 6 team is Botamo, Kabe, Champa, Vegeta, Aga Magetta, and Goten. It is Goten. I was looking in my, preview video for this episode last week, and I was thinking that could be Goten on the Universe 6 team, and sure enough, it is. Now, both teams line up, and Goku asks where Hit is. There is zero references to Frost in this episode. Frost is an evil prick, he doesn't need to be here. Although this does, remind me again, I think it's a missed opportunity that Frost could have been a good guy. Honestly, I would have liked it a lot better had Frost been, a good guy and not just like an evil prick like Frieza. But whatever. Now, Goku does ask where Hit is, and the only thing that's really given is Champa just says it's a pain in the ass finding that guy. So that's it for why Hit's not there, and Whis and Vados are both umpires. Now, what follows for about the next 20 minutes after this is just a series of jokes, references, and just like really good times where, Beerus tells Goku to go all out. So Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue, throws a fastball, and it destroys, part of the field. Gohan manages to catch it, but it's very, very comical. And Toei, just because they just want to fuck with you Gohan fans as much as they possibly can, Gohan catches the fastball, and he's like, oh, I almost got vaporized. And Champa looks over at him, and he goes, oh, you're strong, aren't you? And of course, I check on Twitter, Gohan fans going crazy like usual. Oh, no, did you see that? Champa, the god of destruction, he recognized Gohan's strength. Chill. I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to make a video where it's kind of like, Gohan fans, I'm sorry. I love Gohan too, but you guys have got to stop getting so riled up. Toei at this point, they're just teasing everyone. I don't foresee any Gohan comeback. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Gohan is here now in the same role as Krillin. Okay, just accept it. Gohan, Krillin, Piccolo, they all serve the exact same role in Dragon Ball Super. Now, eventually, Goku does throw a pitch, which we do see a fly, which is another Dr. Slump character. I believe it's a superhero. It's a very slow pitch, and Champa bashes it out of the universe, but it's a foul, which, of course, fouls do count as strikes up to strike 2. If you have 2 strikes and you hit the ball foul, it doesn't, you're not out, because, 3 strikes and you're out. I feel like most people are aware of that, even if you're not, like, a baseball fan or whatever. But fouls count as strikes until you have 2 strikes, and then you can't actually strike out, by getting a foul ball. Then on the third pitch, with 2 strikes, Champa actually hits it, and it looks like it's going to be a home run, but Trunks uses an energy blast, knocks it down, and catches it. And I was surprised, but Vados says that there's no rule stating that they can't use energy, they just can't destroy things. So Trunks using just enough energy to knock it down and then catch it is legal. And I guess, that's true. There's not actually rules in any, there's no rules against like flying and stuff, because normal humans can't do this shit. So it does kind of make sense. So after this, Yamcha, they switch Yamcha over to pitcher, and he does a combination of his Roga Fufu Ken, which of course is his Wolf Fang Fist, and his Spirit Ball, and he's able to kind of control the pitch, and it's a ridiculous thing. So he's like, Yamcha's basically the most OP pitcher of all time, and quickly gets the other 2 outs, so then it moves on to the bottom of the first. So then the bottom of the first happens, and Vegeta is the pitcher. And one thing that I do find surprising is they do actually have Yamcha leading off. Universe 7 has Yamcha as the first batter. Now, traditionally in baseball, you'll put your best hitter either third or fourth, because he's going to have more opportunities to drive in runs. So I do find it a little surprising that Universe 7 is putting their best hitter and their best player as the leadoff guy. But, I mean, considering how this all plays out, it was actually a brilliant tactical move by Beerus, so let me not hate on him for that at all. Now, it's funny, Vegeta's like, oh, I've got this figured out, and he just drills Yamcha with the pitch, and he's like, yeah, so all we gotta do is hurt all the other players so they can't continue. But, of course, Whis says that if Vegeta does that again, he's going to throw him out, and that, you can't just intentionally hit every batter. That's not how baseball works. But because Yamcha got hit, he's able to get a free base and he's able to go to first base. So then Goku comes up next, and we get a hilarious scene of both of them going Super Saiyan Blue, Vegeta and Goku, and like they're having like an energy beam clash, but it's with Vegeta's baseball going at Goku's bat. It is fucking hilarious. Now, Dragon Ball Super has been really shitty at doing beam clashes for basically the majority of the show. I mean, the only good one I can think of was the father-son Gallic Gun moment, but this was fantastic. Eventually, Vegeta discards his glove and shoots more of a volley of energy blasts, and then, finishes up with a final flash. And it's hilarious. Like, I could already tell people are gonna lose their minds about power scaling. Like, how the fuck is Vegeta's final flash not destroying the bat in the baseball? But it's like, you listen, man, this shit is just, Dragon Ball has reached a point where it's like, if you start worrying about shit like that, you're just not gonna enjoy the show. But, as soon as Vegeta busts out his final flash, Yamcha's like, oh, nani? Here's my chance to actually, steal a base. Now, Goku hits the ball, but Botamo catches it, so Goku is out. And Yamcha then, you can't advance on an out. Like, if you hit the ball in the air and someone catches it, you're not able to start running, like, before the ball is caught. Otherwise, they can throw back to first and you'll be automatically out. So as soon as Botamo catches the ball, Yamcha has to return to first, and then he can be safe. And then at any point after that, if he wants to risk it, he can try and steal second. But what happens is Botamo makes a terrible throw, so Yamcha is able to actually try and steal second. And it is great because Kabe is still calling Vegeta, Shisho, master, sensei, whatever you want to. And like he's throwing it towards Vegeta, who's at second base. And Champa actually interferes and kind of gets in Yamcha's way, which is obstruction. And so that means Yamcha is safe, even though, the ball beats Yamcha to second base. So Champa was a little bit of a dummy there. So after this, Gohan is the next batter. And Piccolo calls him over and mentions that you weren't at the martial arts tournament that we had, but Magetta can't fly. So if you hit it over in his direction, it should be a home run. So Gohan does exactly that. But Magetta and Botamo use teamwork so that Botamo is able to catch the ball. Yamcha is able to tag and make it to third base because Champa tries to get him out, but he hits Yamcha with the ball. And getting hit with the ball doesn't mean you're out. Getting hit with the ball doesn't mean you're out as long as it's being thrown by someone. If you get hit by the ball, like if someone, like let's say Gohan hit the ball with the bat, and then that trajectory caused the ball to hit Yamcha, that would make Yamcha out because it's coming off of the bat. But because it was thrown and it hit Yamcha by one of the fielders, Yamcha is actually safe. Now, eventually, this just turns into a big squabble, and Beerus and Champa start fighting, and, it looks like the earth is cracking. Shit is going crazy. Last we saw, Yamcha was laying on third base. Everyone is trying to get inside Whis and Vados. They made it so that the little bench where, like, Bulma and Videl, Chi-Chi were sitting has, like, a little barrier, and everyone is in this barrier like, uh-oh, isn't the universe going to be destroyed because of this? And eventually, Beerus and Champa are fighting. It's very basic fighting, though. They're just kind of, like, slapping each other. And Whis and Vados actually stop and say, all right, we said no destruction. Now, under our authority as umpires, we're going to have to call the game. And Beerus is like, oh, damn, so it's a tie. And Whis and Vados are like, no, it's a walk-off victory for Universe 7. Now, I do want to say walk-off is the proper term, although it's a walk-off victory in baseball is basically when, there's usually 9 innings, and if the home team gets the lead, like in the bottom of the 9th or later, as soon as they get a point to break like a tie, the game automatically ends with that additional run that the home team would get. So it's a walk-off victory because, the term was coined by a baseball player. Ooh, fuck. I think it was Dennis Eckersley was one who coined the term. And he's referring to the losing team has to walk off the field while the winning team is celebrating. Now, Universe 7 is declared the victor. They look down, and while Beerus and Champa were fighting, Yamcha actually stole home, and it is fucking hilarious because Yamcha is in his dead pose after being killed by the Cybermen. He's in the same pose with his hand on home plate, and Universe 7 wins. When I saw this, I fell out of my chair. This shit was hilarious. They brought back the Yamcha death pose. That shit was it was way too much, man. And it's funny because Krillin goes, "Oh, I remember seeing this pose somewhere." And Piccolo goes, "Yeah, it's a bitter memory." And Gohan goes, "Yeah, for me too." Oh, Yamcha, man. Yamcha had to get clowned so damn bad. And what's hilarious, too, is Yamcha has, like, blood dripping down his, face. And it's like, holy shit, this episode, this I can't say slice of life ever. This slice of life episode has more blood on it the entirety of the Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Super up to this point. Hilarious. But that's how it ends. They win thanks to Yamcha getting his Cyberman death pose. In review, this episode, 11 out of 10, best episode ever. Everyone be thankful to the Toei gods for gracing us with this legendary gift. Although I do think it's funny. Obviously, this episode was nothing more than a toy commercial, so that all the kids can go out and buy their Goku and baseball outfit, their Champa and baseball outfit. You guys get what I'm saying. Also, if that's not enough, there was a crossover with Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle on the Japanese version, where you can get a special baseball player Yamcha character in the game. It's like, man, they really know what they're doing. Hey, listen, we all know Dragon Ball Super is just a toy commercial. It's here just to create new forms, sell toys, sell games. But you know what? I'm enjoying it. And also, I just said sell games. Wait, sell video games, but you gotta sell games? Oh, yeah. Best episode ever. 25 out of 10. Not 11 out of 10. Make it 77 out of 10.